Hi stamping friends, it's Marilyn Wagner, Spruce Grove, Alberta, with Stamping Creations with Marilyn. Here to share another card with you that I have done with my clubs and really do believe that it is showing us spring is coming. Don't the tulips look awesome? You can do it either this direction or the vertical. It's a bow that I've never tried before, and I really am pleased with how it turned out. So I would like to share with you the steps that I did for making it. I'll just lay those up there. I know they're not totally in the picture, but gives you an idea. It's using this Timeless Tulip set, which does have some great verses, plus the, I forget what they're called, but they do the shading for you, the stamps. So we'll use those. We're going to use the flowers, the stems, and it comes as a bundle with a punch as well. So we'll do that as well. So for the card, I like to start out with, see if I've got that where you can see it, with the greeting first, so that I make sure my tulips aren't covering it. And for this one, I use soft suede with happy birthday, because I do send out quite a few birthday cards, and I'm usually scrambling with, I need one. So just a tiny little happy birthday, which does come out of this set. And then for the center tulip, I used the medium-sized tulip, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't stamp off, so it would be stamp on here and then on here. Gives it just a little bit lighter than this particular one that I just did. I also do the larger tulips that I'm going to punch out. I did on a strip like this, and you'll notice I did them opposite directions so that they're easier to punch. So we'll do that again. A little bit longer piece of paper, but same idea. If we can get it on the ends, then the punch will work really without any more paper trimming. And one of the great things, there's lots of great things about Stampin' Up! Inks, but it does dry fairly quickly, so you don't have to wait. And then when you go to punch it, it lines up with a little bit of the weight around it, but it's not a problem for the card. So I have those that I will mount with dimensionals after. Then I will use the Mossy Meadow green to give me the stems and the leaves. And we don't need the whole stem. And I tend to work in threes, so now where my leaf is. Noticed on the leaf that it isn't perfectly symmetrical on either end, so you can get different looks by turning it when you stamp, and because it's photopolymer, you can see where you're stamping. So I like to give it a little bit of variety. We'll do that one, then we'll turn it around again. Do the other side. Maybe just a little bit lower on this particular one. There, so yeah, pleased with that. my next step would be to put the ribbon around it, and this is terracotta ribbon that I'm using. And like I said before, it's a bow that I haven't tried before, so I was tickled with how it turned out. So I need a piece about that big. I need to make a circle for the next piece, so I'll take a piece about that big and then a piece to go around it. And my glue dots are my friends for this. Notice that I do have baker's twine tied on there to keep the glue dots tidy, I guess, for lack of a better description, when they're on my desk. Some days you'd never know that I like a tidy desk, but others, and at the end of each project I do clean it up. So there is my first layer, and I do believe the way I put that on a little bit too tight, so I'll put a glue dot just underneath it to hold it down. Then this particular one I'm going to take and just make a circle with it. And that's going to be flattened to put on there, but before it goes on there, it needs the cover piece, I'll call it. I don't know if it's got a proper terminology, but so lots of glue dots happening with this ribbon. It is a little bit stiffer than some of our ribbons, so it does need something to hold it in place. So that would just go around and attach there, and then probably in this particular case I'm going to put 2 glue dot on either end, and not necessarily center it over the flower, but center it over the card. So there is my layer ready for that. I would then mount it on here with my glue. And I use either snail or liquid glue. Sometimes with the ribbon, the liquid glue will hold it down a little bit better. Find that to burnish it, I usually do turn it over so that my fingers, whatever's on them, whether it be ink or glue or whatever, doesn't come off on the good side of the card. The other thing that I like to do on this particular card was a little bit of a image on the inside, as you can see on this one, except not for that extra green. I will once again use the medium size tulip just coming out of this corner. And what did I do with it? It needs a stem. Looks like I didn't get too dark there, but I'll have to do. And so I don't want it on the, you know what, maybe it doesn't even matter if I have it over on the other side, kind of the back side. In my front layer, again, I'm trying to keep it in the screen here for you. I will use Dimensionals to pop it up just for a bit of interest, and my tulips will also have Dimensionals. So you might notice that, no, I hope I did that right side, yes, that again, I have left a little bit more border around than we normally do, than the normal 1/4 inch. And I like to pop this over just a little bit for added interest on the card. And then as a final touch, I have some of these gems called Faceted Dots. And I'm just going to randomly place some of them. I like to work in 3s, so there. And that will be my birthday card for someone in the next month or 2. So I will put a list of products used and a link to my recipe sheet for these cards where I tell how I did it and the measurements. I will put that in my description below. So I would appreciate it if you would go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. I do post regularly there and on my Facebook page and on my blog. So I hope to hear from you soon. Let me know if there's anything you'd like me to show, try, and we will be in touch. Have a great day. Thank you.